And welcome in, folks. We apologize for the technical difficulties. Thankfully, you guys have not missed much. Iowa, Penn State, no score, only one hit between the two teams so far here today. Standing in for Penn State will be Caitlin Morrison, Sarah Lehman on the mound here for the Hawkeyes. And the first pitch high and outside for a ball. The only hit so far of the game has been from Denali Lecker, which had a double to left field, but she was stranded on base. And the 1-0 pitch from Lehman. Catches it, goes outside. It will be 2-0 to Caitlin Morrison. No score here, bottom of the second. And the pitch to Sarah Lehman from Lehman is a swing and a miss. Strike one on Morrison. Quinn Douglas coming to you live here today with the call for Iowa and Penn State. And the final game of a three-game series, Iowa looking to go for the sweep of the winless Nittany Lions. And the 2-1 from Lehman. That one low and away. And it's 3-1 now to Caitlin Morrison. As Morrison will get back into the box, 3-1 to the count and the 3-1. That one high and away for ball four. And Morrison goes down first base runner allowed by the Hawkeyes here today. And that will bring up Leanna Jones, the right fielder. As Jones, the lefty will stand, or the lefty will stand in, I should say, I beg your pardon. And the first pitch from Sarah Lehman. That pitch is low and inside for a ball. 1-0 the count now to Leanna Jones. No score here, bottom of the second between Iowa and Penn State. And here comes the 1-0 from Lehman. That pitch is in there for a strike, and it's 1-1. One down here in the bottom of the second. Iowa coming into today's game tied for seventh in the Big Ten standings, a four-way tie atop of the standings. Penn State, unfortunately, in the cellar at 0-8. The 1-1 pitch is bunted, but bunted foul by Leanna Jones as Morrison tried to run down to second, but we'll have to do it again at 1-2. A busy day for Hawkeye Athletics. Iowa baseball up at Ohio State. Up in Minneapolis, taking on Ohio State today. And, of course, both Iowa basketball teams, the men's and women's, are still alive in the Big Ten tournament. And the 1-2 pitch is swung on and missed. Strike three for Leanna Jones. First strikeout of the game for Sarah Lehman. And that brings up Danny Fay. Good answer after giving up the walk by Lehman to retire Jones on strikes as Danny Fay stands in, batting .300 here on the young season, but one of the better hitters for this Penn State ball club. First pitch in there for a strike from Sarah Lehman, and it will be 0-1 quickly on Danny Fay. Fay, the 5'6" senior from Bangor, Pennsylvania, getting the start in center field today for the Lady Lions. Here's the 0-1 from Lehman. Swing and a miss, 0-2 the count. And Fay already quickly behind 0-2 here in this at-bat. Bottom of the second, no score between Iowa and Penn State. Runner on first, 0-2 the count to Danny Fay, 2 down. And the 0-2. That ball fouled off the tip of the bat. And we'll do it again at 0-2 here with Danny Fay. Iowa coming into the game under third-year head coach Renee Gillespie. Gillespie with a 39-40 record, including the wins and losses from this season. And the 0-2. That one high and away for a ball. Going down to second, heading for the steal, and she is out. What a throw from center Lindy Milkowski to Arilee Bogart. Guns down the runner. Caitlin Morrison to end the inning. So we go to the third inning. No score between Iowa and Penn State. No score as we go to the third inning between Penn State and Iowa. As Iowa will have Sammy Diaz, Briley Klosterman, and Nia Carter up at the plate here this time around the lineup, going into the top of the third. Oatley getting her final warm-ups in. And that will, when the Hawkeyes will lead off with Sammy Diaz. Diaz has gotten every start at third base this season. One interesting note about Sammy Diaz, she is the coach for her club coach in high school, TJ Hushmanzada. Yes, that TJ Hushmanzada, as Diaz will stand in, batting .273 here on the young season. As the lefty will go to work against Vanessa Oatley, the first pitch, or I beg your pardon, the righty goes to work against Vanessa Oatley. That pitch in there, just out in there for a strike, I beg your pardon, and it is 0-1 the count now to Sammy Diaz. Hawkeyes going 8-9-1 here this time around in the order. And here's the pitch from Vanessa Oatley, swing and a miss. Actually, beg your pardon, that one is fouled off by Diaz. Quickly 0-2 on the freshman from Cypress, California. Diaz has yet to have an RBI, but has walked twice and only struck out twice here on the young season. Diaz will stand in. Righty against lefty, the 1-1. That pitch low and away, misses to the outside. It's 2-1 to Sammy Diaz. Diaz appears to be adjusting something with her uniform. Now we'll step back into the batter's box. 2-1 the count. No score here. Top of the third between Iowa and Penn State. And the 2-1. Swing and a fly ball, or ground ball over towards first. Diaz trying to get around the first baseman, the first baseman Black, but is unable to do so. And that'll give the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Briley Klosterman, the 9-hitter here. As Diaz tried to get around Lexi Black, but Lexi wasn't having it. First pitch to Klosterman is a swing and a fly ball into center field. That'll be a base hit for the 9-hitter, Briley Klosterman. So the Hawkeyes have one on with one out. That'll bring up the top of the order with Nia Carter. And Carter, as we mentioned, has been red hot with the bat, batting .500 coming into the series. Went 4 for 10 in the combined in the doubleheader yesterday against these Lady Lions. As Carter, the righty, will step in. And Carter, the lefty, I beg your pardon, will step in. And the first pitch bunted, and Carter, yes, she did go. 0-1 the count for the lefty. As Oatley will take the mound once again. Getting her signals from her catcher, Allie Curlin, and the 0-1 delivery. That one's going to be outside for a ball. 1-1 the count. Now to Nia Carter. Top of the third. 1 on, 1 out. No score here between Iowa and Penn State. Here's the 1-1 delivery. That pitch in there for a strike right down Broadway, and it's 1-2. Now to Nia Carter. Now she's got to try to fight her way back into the at-bat. A beautiful sunny day in Leesburg, Florida. Temperatures hovering around in the lows, in the mid-70s. And here's the pitch to Carter. Ground ball over towards second. They'll field it, get the play at first. 2 down in the inning as Klosterman moves over on the fielder's choice. And that'll bring up Riley Sheehy. She grounded out to shortstop her first time up. This time around, she's looking to drive in a possible run with another runner in scoring position. And the first pitch to Sheehy catches the low outside corner for a strike. 0-1 the count now to Riley Sheehy. Sheehy, the 5'2 junior from Newtown, Pennsylvania, came to Iowa by way of USC Upstate. And the lefty-to-lefty delivery. That pitch is going to be high and outside for a ball. 1-1 the count now to Riley Sheehy. Sheehy got 11 starts in 15 games a season ago, batted .385 with 5 RBIs. Before the season was, of course, cut short by COVID-19. And here is the 1-1 delivery to Sheehy, swinging a high fly ball to left field, but that's going to go out of play behind the dugout of Penn State. 1-2 the count to Riley Sheehy. If she can get this run across, that would be a big, good way to start for the Iowa Hawkeyes. As Sheehy will stand in. The lefty against lefty. Here is the 1-2. And that is going to be popped towards the left side, and that's going to hit off the fence and will not be playable for Michelle Leone. And it stays at 1-2. Runner on second, 2 out here, 1-2 count to Riley Sheehy. Top of the third inning between Iowa and Penn State. Iowa looking for the sweep of the Lady Lions and to get above 500 for the first time this season. Here is the 1-2. That pitch low and away. Yeah, no, I beg your pardon. They punched her out. I thought that pitch got away from the catcher. Instead, it's a punch out of Riley Sheehy. So no runs on 1 hit, 1 left on base. We go to the bottom of the third. No score between Iowa and Penn State. You're listening to Iowa softball on Learfield, IMG College. Bottom of the third between Iowa and Penn State. As Penn State will have the 7, 8, 9 hitters coming up. As Danny Fay was at the plate, but they did throw out Caitlin Morrison attempting to steal second to end the inning. As Sarah Lehman will go to work here against the bottom of the Penn State order. Albeit a very good bottom of the Penn State order. All 3 hitters in the bottom of the order for Penn State so far, at least coming into the series this season, are batting 300 or better. As Danny Fay and Allie Curlin batting right at 300. Lilia Krauthamel, she's batting 313 in this young season. Lehman will stand in. The first pitch is a swing and a miss, and that's going to be actually a foul off, but nonetheless, it's a strike. 0-1 the count already to Danny Fay. Bottom of the third, no score between Iowa and Penn State. Here's the 0-1 from Lehman. That pitch high and outside for a ball. 1-1 the count now to Danny Fay. As I mentioned, a busy day for Iowa athletics. Of course, Iowa women's basketball tips off at 3 p.m. against Michigan State in the Big Ten tournament. Rob Brooks will have the call for that. Here is the pitch from Lehman. That pitch in their first strike, quickly 1-2 to Danny Fay. And of course, the Iowa men will face Wisconsin for the 3rd time this year. Garrett Elfin and Bobby Hansen will have the call tonight at 8 p.m. Also right here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Here's the 1-2. Swinging a pop fly to the right side, and that one's going to go out of play. Count will stay at 1-2 with Danny Fay. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, Iowa baseball taking on Ohio State up in Minneapolis. They'll play the Buckeyes twice in Minneapolis, as well as playing Nebraska twice at U.S. Bank Stadium, the home of the Minnesota Vikings. Here is the 1-2. That pitch high and outside. That one almost got away from Lindy Milkowski. And the count now stands at 2-2. No one has gotten a hit yet for Penn State, but Morrison did reach base on a walk back in the second. Here is the 2-2. That one swung on, hit high in the air into shallow right field. Running in to make the catch is Nia Carter, for the first out of the inning. So Faye is retired on the pop fly to right field. That'll bring up the catcher, Allie Kurland. Kurland, as I mentioned, coming into this series, batting .300 on the young season. Oh, it's righty against lefty. This time around, here's the first pitch. That pitch catches the outside corner for a strike, and it's 0-1. And prior to the 2021 season, Kurland with a career batting average of .245, 6 home runs, and 25 RBIs in her Penn State career for the junior out of Burke, Virginia, attended Lake Braddock High School. And the 0-1 pitch is foul back, giving chase is Milkowski. And coming over to make the play at third from third is Sammy Diaz for the second out of the inning. Great job by Diaz tracking that down in foul territory. And with 2 down here in the bottom of the third, that'll bring up Lilia Krauthamel. As Krauthamel will stand in righty against righty this time around. 2 down here in the bottom of the third, the first pitch from Lehman. That pitch outside to Krauthamel, and it's quickly 1-0 to the left fielder. Krauthamel, a 5'4" junior from Allenstown, Pennsylvania. And here is the pitch from Lehman. That one just missed high and away. 2-0 the count to Krauthamel. She was a Class 3A first-team All-State selection her junior year at Salisbury High School. Lehman trying to fight her way back into the count, 2-0. Here's the pitch. That one just missed to the high and outside again as Krauthamel checked her swing. And it is a 3-0 count. Can't imagine Krauthamel would have the green light here, but she's showing bunt right away here in this 3-0. Maybe she'll pull back and try to hit, and she does pull back, and right down the pike goes Lehman's pitch for a strike, and it's 3-1 to Lilia Krauthamel. Lehman trying to fight her way back into this at-bat. Lehman getting her signal from Lindy Milkowski and the 3-1 pitch. That one just misses to the outside, ball 4. And Krauthamel will go to first on the walk. Second walk issued of the game by Sarah Lehman. And with 2 down and 1 on here in the bottom of the third, that'll bring up the top of the Penn State lineup with Michelle Leone, the third baseman. She grounded out to first base her first time around as she led off the first inning for the Nittany Lions. No score, 2 down here in the bottom of the third. Here's the pitch from Lehman. That one high and away for a ball, 1-0. The count now to Michelle Leone. And I feel like if you're Lehman, just trying to do a little pitch and catch here, try to get it in the zone and let your defense make plays as she's done so far today. Lehman looking for the sign from Milkowski. Here's the pitch. That one catches the inside corner for a strike, and it's 1-1. The count to Lilia Krauthamel, or I beg your pardon, the count to Michelle Leone. So Lehman stands back in the circle against Leone, the 5'4" sophomore. Lehman looking at her wrist for the pitch and the 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1-2 the count now to Michelle Leone. And she is behind in the count 1-2. Runner on first. Bottom of the third, 2 down here between Iowa and Penn State as the Nittany Lions trying to keep the inning alive. Here's the 1-2. That pitch line down the first baseline, but foul. And we'll do it again at 1-2. So Leone will step back in to the batter's box on this sunny day here in Leesburg, Florida. As Lehman getting her signal from Renee Gillespie. Here's the 1-2. That pitch just misses on the inside. 2-2 the count now to Michelle Leone. Currently in Leesburg, it is a nice and balmy 75. It's a little bit chillier back in Iowa City. Here's the pitch. That one is going to be hit towards the center field, and that's going to be a base hit. Going from first to third is Crowdhamel. Now Penn State's got runners on the corners with 2 down, and that will bring up Emily Maddock. Runners at the corners, 2 down here, bottom of the third. Iowa, Sarah Lehman trying to work her way out of a jam. Unfortunately for Lehman, she's got 2 down. And Maddock comes up. She flew out to left field her first time up back in the first inning. As Lehman working, here's the pitch. That one swung on and hit foul. 0-1 now the count to Emily Maddock. There's a little miscommunication there between Milkowski and Sarah Lehman, but they appear to have that solved. As Lehman back in the pitcher's circle, gets the pitch call from Renee Gillespie and the 0-1. Swinging ground ball towards the left side, towards the first base side. And that ball is going to be fielded. And stepping on first is Lecker to end the inning. No runs, 1 hit, 2 left on. We go to the top of the fourth. No score between Iowa and Penn State. There's an Iowa Hawkeye softball in Learfield, IMG College. Top of the fourth inning between Iowa and Penn State. Iowa will lead things off with Arilee Bogar. Iowa going 3-4-5 this time around in the order. As Bogar will stand in. And the first pitch to Bogar is popped up, and making the catch in center field is Danny Fay for the first out of the inning. Bogar wasting no time getting action at the plate, but she flies out to center to start things off here in the inning. That'll bring up Grace Baines, the hero of Game 2 of yesterday's doubleheader. This game moving on at a frantic pace. And the first pitch to Baines, that one is going to catch the high outside corner for a strike. It's 0-1. If you're just joining us, no score here, top of the fourth inning between Iowa and Penn State. 0-1 the count, 1 down to Grace Baines. Quinn Douglas broadcasting live for today's game. The second pitch is going to be inside. That one came close to hitting Baines on the leg. 1-1 the count now to the third baseman. Iowa's had chances. They've had 2 times they've had runners get into scoring position at second, have yet to capitalize. Here's the pitch from Oatley. That one misses the low outside corner. 2-1 the count now to Grace Baines. Baines, a 5'7" freshman from Kansas City, the Kansas side of Kansas City, I should add. Was a phenomenal all-around athlete at Piper High School. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That one misses outside again, and it's 3-1 now to Grace Baines. Iowa got a chance to get a base runner on with 1 out. Baines stands in. It's lefty against righty. And the 3-1. That one swung on, hit towards the shortstop. And it's a line drive, and that'll do it for Grace Baines for the second out of the inning. And that'll bring up Denali Lecker. As Lecker, her first time up, she doubled into left field, went right over the head of Lilia Crowdhamel. Lecker looking to build off of a good hit her first time up here in the top of the fourth. Here's the first pitch to Lecker, and that one catches the outside of the plate for a strike, and it's 0-1. Oh, and 1 the count to Lecker. Doubled her first time up for the team leader in RBI. Second pitch, that one catches the outside corner again. Quickly 0-2 to the freshman. Who also has had some pitching duty. She did pitch against Michigan earlier this year. Went 3 innings against the Wolverines, but allowed 4 earned runs. Here's the 0-2 to Lecker. That one swung on right back to the pitcher over to first in time to end the inning. So the Hawkeyes go 1-2-3 here in the top of the fourth. No runs, no hits, no errors, and no one left on base. We go to the bottom of the fourth. No score on Iowa Hawkeye softball on Learfield, IMG College. Bottom of the fourth inning, Iowa and Penn State. No score between the Hawkeyes and the Lady Lions at Sleepy Hollow Sports Complex in Leesburg, Florida. Quinn Douglas with the call of the action here today. Glad you all could come aboard on this Friday morning filled with Hawkeye sports. On a day filled with Hawkeye sports, I should say. Getting things started off here on your day with some Iowa softball. No score here, bottom of the fourth, and Penn State will lead off the inning with Maggie Finnegan, the designated player. She's batting in place of the pitcher, Vanessa Oatley. And Finnegan will stand in here to start the bottom of the fourth. And the first pitch on the way from Sarah Lehman misses high outside for a ball, 1-0 the count. As Maddox, she grounded out to second her first time up. That was back in the first inning. And the 1-0 pitch is in there for a strike. It's 1-1 now the count to Maggie Finnegan. It's a big day for Iowa athletics. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Finnegan. That one hit into center field. Getting under it is Klosterman for the first out of the inning. As Maggie Finnegan flies out to center field, that'll bring up Lexi Black, former Millard West prep at Omaha, from Omaha, Nebraska. I mentioned it's kind of a blockbuster day of Iowa athletics. Yeah, men's tennis, women's field hockey in Iowa City, and then women's volleyball is at College Park, Maryland, taking on the Terrapins. And, of course, men's and women's basketball and Iowa baseball. Here's the first pitch. That one is going to be outside for a ball. Or outside for a ball, 2-1. Already the count to Lexi Black. As Lehman waits for a signal. Here's the pitch from Lehman. That one swung on and missed, 2-2. And quickly, Black is down to her last strike, down to 2 strikes here in this at-bat. Bottom of the fourth, no score between Iowa and Penn State. One down here in the inning, 2-2. Lexi Black at the plate for Penn State. Here's the 2-2. That one misses on the outside. It's 3-2. Of course, Lexi's sister Logan younger sister Logan got some pitching action yesterday in the second game of the doubleheader. Here's the 3-2. That one swung on, drilled into center field. Going back is Klosterman. That's going to be over her head. Heading around first and heading for second is Lexi Black. She's in with a stand-up double. And Penn State with its first, with another serious threat to score. Second time they better run her in scoring position in the ball game. That will bring up with one down Caitlin Morrison, the shortstop. And it looks like we do have a pinch runner coming in for Penn State. And coming into pinch run here for the Nittany Lions is number 10, Shelly Rivard. So Rivard will stand on second, and she will come and get Lexi Black for pinch running. Standing at the plate with a chance to score a run is Caitlin Morrison. I think any kind of base hit will score. Here's the first pitch to Morrison, swung on and missed. 0-1 now the count to Morrison. She walked her last time up, but got caught stealing second to end the second inning. As Morrison settles in, here's the 0-1 pitch, swung on and missed again. That was a high rising fastball from Sarah Lehman, and quickly the count 0-2 to Caitlin Morrison. Morrison will stand back in. 0-2 the count, bottom of the fourth. Here's the pitch. That one misses on the outside as Morrison barely checked her swing. And it's 1-2 the count. One down here, bottom of the fourth. Runner in scoring position is Shelly Rivard after the double by Alexi Black. Here comes the 1-2 from Lehman. Swing and a miss, strike three. Lehman retires Morrison, and that'll bring up Liana Jones. That's a second strikeout of the afternoon for Sarah Lehman. And now Jones will come up with two down, trying to get a run across here for the Nittany Lions. First pitch from Lehman. That pitch will miss to the outside as Molkowski had to chase Rivard back to second. 1-0 the count now, two down in the bottom of the fourth. Runner on second. No score between Iowa and Penn State. Iowa can get above 500 for the first time in this young 2021 season. The 1-0 pitch catches the inside corner for a strike, and it's 1-1. The count now to Liana Jones. Jones struck out her first time up back in the second inning. And now Lindy Molkowski calls time to talk things over with Sarah Lehman. As we mentioned at the top of the broadcast when we thought we were on the air, Iowa currently in a four-way tie for seventh place in the Big Ten. They're tied with Nebraska, Wisconsin, and Maryland. Penn State, unfortunately, in the cellar at 0-8. Northwestern currently at the top of the Big Ten standings, coming in today with a 7-0 record. Here is the 1-1 from Lehman, swung on and missed again by Liana Jones, and it's 1-2. Here in the bottom of the fourth. As Jones will stand in, Lehman gets her sign from Renee Gillespie. And the 1-2 pitch. That one high and away. Throwing it back to second for Molkowski. Molkowski guns down to second, and they throw out Shelly Rivard, trying to get from second to third. As we go to the top of the fifth, no score between Iowa and Penn State. You're listening to Iowa Hawkeye softball on Learfield, IMG College. Top of the fifth inning here between Iowa and Penn State. No score as we go to the top of the fifth, as it will be Milkowski, Burns, and Diaz up. And they go 6, 7, 8 in the Iowa batting order here today, as Milkowski grounded out her first time up. As Milkowski, the lefty, will stand in against Vanessa Oatley. And the first pitch, that one is going to be a strike. Catches the outside corner. Oh, 0-1 the count now to the right-hander Milkowski, as Vanessa Oates gets her sign. And the 0-1. That one swung on, hit high in the air into left field, going back and chasing it down over the head of Krauthamel again. It's going to be a foul ball. Oh, thought that was going to be trouble for Krauthamel and Penn State. Instead, it's a foul ball. That was a well-hit ball by Lindy Milkowski. 0-2 the count. And the 0-2 from Vanessa Oates to Milkowski. That one low and outside for a ball. Milkowski, of course, only had one hit in that doubleheader yesterday, but it was in her only at bat as a pinch hitter in Game 2 of that 12-inning marathon of yesterday's doubleheader. Here's the 1-2. That one swing and a miss, strike 3, as Milkowski sits down on strikes. Second strikeout for Vanessa Oatley, and that will bring up Kalena Burns. As Burns, the 5'10 sophomore, 2 home runs early in the season. She had 5 in her freshman campaign through 20 games, and the first pitch is dribbled onto the dirt, and that will be clearly a ball from Vanessa Oates. I think she may have lost the handle on that one. 1-0 the count to Kalena Burns. One down here, top of the fifth. Burns showing bunt. Luckily, she's going to pull back. Here's the 1-0. That one ground ball to the left side. Great play over at short. Throw over to first for her knees. She got her. What a play by Caitlin Morrison at short. Had to dive to knock that ball down, but she gets the put out on Burns to give Penn State their second out of the inning to bring up Sammy Diaz for the Hawkeyes. Diaz, she grounded out to first in her first at bat back in the third inning. And with 2 down and nobody on, she'll try to give a 2-out rally here for the Hawkeyes. Here's a swing by Diaz, ground ball over to short once again. Morrison throw over to first in time to end the inning. The Hawkeyes go 1-2-3, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on. We go to the bottom of the fifth. No score between Iowa and Penn State. You're listening to Iowa Softball on Learfield, IMG College. Bottom of the fifth between Penn State and Iowa. No score here in the series finale between these two teams. Iowa, of course, swept yesterday's doubleheader. Penn State still looking for their first win on the season. Iowa trying to fight their way back into the top half of the Big Ten standings from when they come back from Florida. As leading off the inning for the Nittany Lions will be Liana Jones. And Jones, her first time up, struck out swinging against Sarah Lehman. As Jones will stand in waiting for the coaches to get in their batter's box. Always a little bit funny when the coaches don't essentially get to the batter's box as quickly as maybe the umpires want him to, but we are now ready to go. Lehman back on the mound for her fifth inning of work. The pitch from Lehman, first pitch, misses low and away for a ball. 1-0 the count to Leanna Jones. I'll tell you what, it has been a quick game. We got started at about 10 o'clock this morning. It's already 11. We're already about halfway through. Second pitch from Lehman at this at-bat is in there for a strike. 1-1 the count now to Leanna Jones. No outs here, bottom of the fifth between Iowa and Penn State. The 1-1 from Lehman. That one low at the knees, but inside. 2-1 the count now to Leanna Jones. Jones batting on the interstate here to start this season. 125, and she's 125 across the board also in slugging percentage and on-base percentage. Here comes the 1-2. I believe that should be 2. I believe that should be 2-1, but instead it's 2-2. We'll work with it. 2-2 the count. And it looks like the umpire gives the signal. It's actually 3-1, so it's what we thought. 3-1 the count to Leanna Jones. Lehman steps back up to the rubber. And here comes the 3-1. That one in there for a strike, and it's 3-2 the count to Leanna Jones. Nobody out here at bottom of the fifth between Iowa and Penn State. No score between these two teams. As Lehman will step back up to the rubber after getting her signals from Renee Gillespie. And the payoff pitch. That one is going to be catching the inside corner. Strike 3 called. As she gets Jones looking for her third strikeout of the game for Lehman. Second strikeout of the game for Jones. With one down here in the bottom of the fifth, that'll bring up Danny Fay. She flew out to right field her first time up back in the third. And the first pitch to Fay is swung on into left field. That is going to be caught and actually being a part in center field by Klosterman. And that is the second out of the inning. So 2 at-bats, 2 flyouts to the outfield for Danny Fay, and that will quickly bring up Allie Curlin, the catcher for Penn State. No score here, bottom of the fifth inning between the Hawkeyes and the Lady Lions. 2 down in the bottom of the fifth. Sarah Lehman has been working at a very good pace here today for the Hawkeyes. And here's the first pitch from Lehman. That one's going to be outside for a ball. 1-0 the count to Allie Curlin. As Curlin will step back in. She flew out on a pop fly into the foul ground to third base back in the third. Pitch to Curlin, swung on, drilled to second base. Bogar over to Lecker in time to end the inning. No runs, no hits, and nobody left on base as we go to the sixth. No score between Iowa and Penn State on Learfield, IMG College. Top of the sixth inning, no score here between Iowa and Penn State. As we've got a fast-moving game here today between the Hawkeyes and the Lady Lions. Leading up the top of the sixth for Iowa will be Briley Klosterman. She's had a busy day out in center field catching fly balls, but she did single in her first at-bat back in the third inning. She'll look to make it a 2-for-2 start to her day today. As Vanessa Oates goes back to the mound, the first pitch to Klosterman in there for a strike. So quickly 0-1 the count now to Klosterman. She'll stand back in against Vanessa Oates. Top of the 6th, no score between Iowa and Penn State. And the pitch to Klosterman. That one catches the inside corner for a strike, and quickly it's 0-2 to Briley. Klosterman stands back in, lefty against lefty. And here comes the 0-2. That one swung and foul back to the screen, and we'll do it again at 0-2. Klosterman trying to get things started, trying to find a way for Iowa to get a run scored here. It's been a very quick game, but a very defensive game at that. Here is the 0-2. That one, an off-speed pitch, misses on the high outside corner. It's 1-2 now to Klosterman as Oates' off-speed pitch didn't quite locate where she wanted it to. Here is the 1-2. That one, I beg your pardon, is going to miss on the inside. 2-2 now to Penn State. Or I beg your pardon, to Briley. Excuse me, to Briley Klosterman, I should say. I beg your pardon. And here comes the 2-2. That one is going to be fouled. It's hit down the left field line. Giving chase in foul ground is Krauthamel, and she makes the catch for the first out of the inning. So one down here, in the top of the 6th. That'll bring up the top of the Iowa lineup with Nia Carter. As Carter has, with how hot of her hitting she's been, she has flown out to center, and she hit into a fielder's choice back in the 3rd. First pitch to Carter, misses high and outside for a ball, 1-0. As Carter will step back in, 1-0 the count. One down here, top of the 6th, and the pitch to Carter. That one, I believe, was low, and it was 2-0 the count. Carter, as I mentioned, batting .500. Slugging percentage is .600. Her on-base percentage is around .524. So those are some gaudy numbers, especially for a start of the season. Here comes the 2-0 to Carter. That one is in there for a strike on the low outside corner. And it is 2-1 the count. No score, top of the 6th between Iowa and Penn State. 2-1 to Nia Carter with one down here in the top of the 6th. Iowa looking for the sweep. Here's a bunt by Carter, put down. That one is going to be foul. Back to the screen as Carter tried to put down almost a swinging bunt of sorts. Wasn't actually a swinging bunt, but her motion almost kind of made it look like that. Top of the 6th, 2-2 the count, one down here in the top half of the frame. No score between Iowa and Penn State on a Super Friday of Iowa athletic events. Here's the 2-2. That one is going to be low and gets away from the catcher, Curlin. So Carter has worked the count full, 3-2, with one down here in the top of the 4th. Carter steps back in. And here comes the 3-2 from Oates. That one swung on and hit into right field. That'll be a base hit for Carter. Bounces off the leg. Carter heading for second play. At second, she is in there with a sliding double. As Jones was not able to come up with it for Penn State. And when Carter saw that, she took advantage and beat the throw into second. And Carter into second. I think we're going to have to give Carter, unfortunately, I don't know if that's going to be a double. That might be a base hit with an error on Jones. We'll see how they officially score that. As of right now, though, it's no score, top of the 6th, one down, but Nia Carter at first. And they're going to say it was advanced by the error. So it's going to be a base hit, and then advance to second on the error. And that'll bring up Riley Sheehy. Sheehy at the plate. She's 0 for 2 on the day, and she hits a fly ball into right field, giving chase and making the catch in foul ground is Rachel Maddock. So Sheehy quickly flies out. 2 down here in the inning. And that'll bring up Arilee Bogard, the 3-hitter here for the Hawkeyes. Bogard was standing in with 2 down here in the top of the 6th. Working against Vanessa Oates. Here is the first pitch. That one will be low and away for a ball. Hawkeyes looking to get a run in with a runner in scoring position. Bogard looking to push that first run across. And the 1-0. That one hit to the left side, over towards short. Morrison to first, to Black in time to end the inning. Well, the Hawkeyes, they get one hit, one error, and 1 man left on base. We head to the bottom of the 6th. No score. You're listening to Hawkeye Softball on Learfield, IMG College. Bottom of the 6th inning here from Sleepy Hollow Sports Complex in Leesburg, Florida, between Iowa and Penn State. No score between both teams. Both teams have had chances to get runs on the board, but neither have succeeded thus far. Quinn Douglas here giving you the call of the action here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Glad you could come aboard here on this Friday morning as Sarah Lehman goes back to the mound for her 6th inning of work, and the first pitch is hit into center field, and making the catch out in center is Briley Klosterman as Lilia Krauthamel sits down for the first out of the inning. And that will quickly bring out the top of the lineup with Michelle Leone for Penn State. As Leone, she is 1 for 2 on the day. She grounded out in the first, but had a base hit back in the third, and she takes the first pitch for a strike. It's 0-1 to Leone, the leadoff hitter for this Penn State team. And that second pitch from Lehman misses on the outside. 1-1 the count now to Michelle Leone. Here comes the 1-1 from Lehman. That one, I believe that one just missed. 2-1 the count to Leone. 1 down here, bottom of the 6th. Iowa looking for the sweep of Penn State. Penn State trying to get their first win of the season. As Lehman gets her sign from Renee Gillespie, here comes the 2-1. That one, off-speed pitch, catches the inside corner for a strike. It's 2-2 now to Michelle Leone. Two and two the count, 1 down here, bottom of the 6th. Leone trying to get things started here for Penn State in the bottom of the 6th. Here's the 2-2. That one high and away for a ball, 3-2 the count. As Leone has worked it full against Sarah Lehman. Lehman looking at her wristband for her pitch again. And here comes the payoff pitch. That one hit high in the air down the first base line. That's going to go foul and out of play. And we'll do it again at 3-2. One down here in the bottom of the sixth between Iowa and Penn State. No score between these two teams that put together pretty solid offensive performances yesterday. Maybe a little bit of tiredness is creeping in. Here's the 3-2. That one swung up, popped up down the first base line. Giving chase is Lecker, but that ball is going to go out of play once again. And we'll do it over again at 3-2. As Leon will stand back in. Righty against righty. Lehman to Leon. Here is the 3-2. That one misses inside, ball 4, and Leon draws the walk with one down here in the top of the sixth. That'll bring up Emily Maddox. She's 0 for 2 so far today. She flew out to left field her first time up in the first inning. She grounded out to third back in the third inning. Now it looks like we got a pinch runner in for Penn State. Melody Coombs will be pinch running for Michelle Leon. Coombs, a 5'3" freshman from Mechanicsville, Maryland. She was a top 40 recruit during this past recruiting cycle, according to Extra Innings Softball and Flow Softball. As Maddox stands in, righty against lefty this time around. Here comes the first pitch. That one bunted. That one chased down by Lecker. Throwing over to first to get the out. Great play by Lecker to throw over to first. Good coverage by Bogar as Coombs moves over to second on the field on the sacrifice bunt. And that will bring up Maggie Finnegan, the designated player. Penn State with a runner in scoring position. 2 down here, bottom of the sixth. Lehman again trying to escape a runner in scoring position. Well, she has been very good at doing that so far today. Here comes the pitch. That one swung on, hit to the left side, over towards third, to throw to first. To Lecker in time to end the inning. So Diaz to Lecker ends the inning. No runs on one hit. One left on base, and that will no runs on no hits. One left on base. We go to the seventh. No score between Iowa and Penn State. You're listening to Iowa Softball in Learfield, IMG College. Top of the seventh inning here between Iowa and Penn State. As no one has yet to score here today between these two teams that had, for lack of a better term, a war of attrition in their second game of a doubleheader. It was supposed to be 2 7-inning games yesterday for the doubleheader. Instead, the Hawkeyes and Nittany Lions ended up playing 12 innings alone in that second game. Of course, Grace Baines was the hero of that game, and she'll be up here in the top of the seventh, the second man up. But leading off will be Arilee Bogar. And Bogar today is 0 for 2. First pitch to Bogar, swung on, hit to right field and center field, and getting under it is Fay for the first out of the inning. So Bogar makes contact but hits it into right center field where Danny Fay was waiting, and already one down here in the top of the seventh. As Grace Baines will stand back in, the hero of yesterday's second game of the doubleheader. And Baines, she is 0 for 2 here today. First pitch, that one misses high and outside for a ball from the lefty Oates. Baines is lined out to third in the second inning and lined out to shortstop in the fourth inning. She will stand back in here. 1-0 the count. Here's the 1-0. That one swung on to the right side. Give me chase in foul ground is Giving chase and foul ground is Jones, but she will not be able to catch it. And the count, that will move the count to 1-1. No score, top of the 7th inning here between Iowa and Penn State. As Grace Baines will stand in, trying to get a base runner here for the Hawkeyes. Here comes the 1-1. That one is going to miss just to the outside for Oates. And it will be 2-1 the count to Grace Baines. And talking about how fast of a game this is, we're already almost 7 innings in, and this game is only an hour and a half old. Here comes the 2-1. That one catches the outside corner for a strike, and it's 2-2. Actually, a bigger pardon. That's great. That's Denali Lecker at the plate. I beg your pardon. 2-2 to Denali Lecker. I apologize for that. Lecker hits a line drive into center field, but right to Diaz, or right to Fay, I beg your pardon, for the second out of the inning. And I tell you what, Lecker put a charge into that ball, but Fay was just there, right place at the right time. That'll bring up Lindy Milkowski, and the first pitch to Milkowski catches the outside corner of the plate for a strike. Should apologize for missing. That was Denali Lecker at the plate. Here's the pitch to Milkowski. She swings and misses. Forgot to put down in my scorebook that Bogart, she actually grounded out to end the last inning for the Hawkeyes. She grounded out to the shortstop. So Baines flew out to center. Lecker flew out to center. And now we'll have to see what Lindy Milkowski does. She's already down 0-2 to Vanessa Oates. Here comes the 0-2. That one swung and fouled back to the screen. And it's still 0-2 on Milkowski. Someone has got to get a run at some point, you would think. But we'll see what happens. See, maybe these two teams are a little bit drained from yesterday's marathon. As Milkowski will stand in. 0-2 with 2 down. Here's the pitch. That one low and outside as Milkowski checked her swing, and they're going to say she did not go. So 1-2 the count. 2 down here, top of the 7th inning between Iowa and Penn State. Oates looking to the dugout for her sign. Lefty to righty. Here comes the 1-2. That one misses high and outside for a ball. 2-2 the count now to Lindy Milkowski. She's fighting her way back into this at bat. And here comes the 2-2 from Milkowski. Swung on fly ball left field. That one going back on the track, and that ball is going to be a base hit, I believe. Apologize for the poor angle from where we're looking at. But it will be a base hit for Milkowski. So Milkowski gets on. She put a rip into that ball. So Milkowski gets on with a 2-out single. That'll bring up Kalena Burns, and boy, would it be big for Kalena to maybe go yard here. But Kalena, she is 0 for 2 today. She grounded out to short her first time up in the second, and then grounded out to short once again in the center. She lined out to short in the second. His first pitch is a foul ball as the hit and run was on, but Burns fouled it back, and Milkowski will have to go back to first base. 0-1 the count, 2 down here, top of the 7th. Oates, here comes the pitch to Burns. Here's a swing and a ball foul. That one, I think, went off the thigh of Kalena Burns. She definitely put a hard swing into that one, but she was jammed on the inside by Vanessa Oatley. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 down here, top of the 7th inning. Runner on first here for the Iowa Hawkeyes. As Burns will stand in. Crouching back to the plate, showing bunt right away. She pulls back, and the 0-2 misses down low. 1-2 now, the count to Kalena Burns. So we do have a brief stoppage here as Oatley gets her signal from the Penn State dugout. Burns will step back in, 1-2 the count, top of the 7th inning. Runner on first here for the Hawkeyes. Here comes the 1-2. That one swung and foul back to the screen by Burns. Got to feel this is a big at-bat here in this ball game for Burns and the Iowa Hawkeyes, for both teams, as a matter of fact. As Burns will step back up to the plate, Oates will come back up, lefty against righty. 1-2, 2 down. Here's the pitch. Swung, hit into left field by Burns. Tracking it down is Danny Fay in left center to end the inning. Well, the Hawkeyes get a runner on, but they cannot score. So they get no runs on 1 hit, 1 left on. We go to the bottom of the 7th. No score. You're listening to Iowa Softball on Learfield, IMG College. Bottom of the 7th inning here between Iowa and Penn State. No score here between these two teams that played a doubleheader yesterday. Iowa swept, winning the first game in 7 innings, as it was supposed to be 2 7-inning doubleheaders, and winning the second game in 12 innings, as Grace Barnes came to be the hero for the Hawkeyes in the bottom of the 12th with an RBI single. Leading off the inning for Penn State will be Lexi Black. She doubled her last time up back in the 4th inning. Sarah Lehman back out on the mound for more work, and that first pitch misses on the outside. It's 1-0. Bottom of the 7th here at Sleepy Hollow Sports Complex in Leesburg, Florida, just about 20 minutes outside of Orlando. Here's the 1-0 pitch from Lehman, and it's in there for a strike. 1-1 the count. As Lehman, she's going back for her 7th inning of work. And here comes the 1-1. That pitch is going to catch the outside corner for a strike, and it's quickly 1-2 on Lexi Black. As Lehman back up on the mound, here comes the 1-2. That one high and away for a ball, 2-2. As Lexi Black will stand back in, 2-2 the count. As Lehman getting her sign from the dugout, here comes the 2-2. That one swing and a miss, strike 3. As Lehman blows a fastball by Lexi Black for the first out of the inning. Big first out of the inning there by Sarah Lehman. And the first pitch from Lehman here on this at-bat is in there for a strike against Caitlin Morrison. Morrison walked her first time up, struck out her second time up. So that last strikeout for Lehman was her 4th strikeout of the game. And here comes the 0-1 from Lehman. That one swung up, popped up on the right field side. Lecker giving chase, and she makes the catch in front of the Iowa dugout. So already 2 down here in the bottom of the 7th. And now we do have a stoppage for time. So just a quick game reset. Iowa and Penn State tied at 0, bottom of the 7th, 2 down. As of right now, Leanna Jones is slated to bat, but I wonder if we maybe have a pinch hit coming up here. And we do have a pinch hitter coming up for Penn State, and it will be Lauren Marcotte. Lauren Marcotte will be pinch hitting here for Leanna Jones. So here, bottom of the 7th, we're just a mere out away from extra innings here in Leesburg. And here comes the first pitch. That one is going to be a strike right down the middle against Marcotte. And it is 0-1 already to Lauren Marcotte. And the second pitch from Lehman, that one fouled off. 0-2 quickly now on Marcotte. As Penn State, or as Marcotte steps back into the batter's box, here's the 0-2. That one swung, fly ball into center field. That's going to be a base hit, fielded by Klosterman, and a big pinch hit there by Lauren Marcotte. Gets Penn State with a runner on, with 2 down here in the bottom of the 7th. That'll bring up Danny Fay. So Fay, she is yet to reach base today. She is flown out to right and flown out to center. But she herself has gotten a lot of work out in center field today. 2 down, bottom of the 7th. Fay at the plate. And the first pitch. That one swung on foul back to the screen. And it's 0-1. Two down here, bottom of the 7th. Marcotte, the runner on first after she gets the pinch hit for Leanna Jones. And now we have a discussion with one of the coaches. Now I think we're going to get a pinch runner here for Penn State. Actually, I beg your pardon. Now they're going to talk things over with the coaching staff, talk strategy here. No score between Iowa and Penn State. Runner on first. 2 down here in the bottom of the 7th. As the Penn State can't get a run across here, we're going to extra innings here from Leesburg. Iowa going to talk things over on at the pitcher's circle. They've got the entire infield in. Now it looks like Penn State might be making some adjustments here. And now they're going to have Leanna Jones come back in and come back in and run for Lauren Marcotte. So I believe the discussion was to make sure that the Penn State coaching staff could legally sub Jones back in to run, and they have done so. So it will be Danny Fay still at the plate. 0-1 the count, 2 down here, bottom of the 7th. Here's the pitch from Lehman. That one swung on, fly ball into right field, tracking it down. That's going to drop into the gap. That's a base hit. And now they got Jones tracked down between third and second, and that throw is not going to be in time. They had a shot at Jones, but they couldn't haul it in. So Jones goes to second. Danny Fay at first. 2 down, 2 on here in the bottom of the 7th. The winning run is 120 feet away. Allie Curlin steps up to the plate. So back-to-back base hits by the Lady Lions has spelt trouble for the Iowa Hawkeyes. Renee Gillespie comes out to the mound to talk things over with her infield. Penn State looking for their first win in conference play. Iowa looking to get back above 500 for the first time this season. 2 down, bottom of the 7th. As of right now, Penn State's got Allie Curlin coming to the plate with a chance to knock in the winning run. We are tied at 7 here at Leesburg, Florida. So Lehman will stand back. Lehman will step back up to the mound. Curlin steps in. 2 down, 2 on. Winning run at second. Lehman gets the sign from Gillespie and the first pitch. That one misses on the outside corner. 1-0. Two down, bottom of the 7th. You got Leona Jones at second. Danny Fay at first. And Curlin the batter for Penn State. Here is the 1-0. That one misses outside. 2-1. Shaw's just got to find the strike zone here. 2-0 the count now to Allie Curlin. And the first pitch, or the pitch is in there for a strike, and it's 2-1. Good job by Lehman to find the strike zone there. Now it's 2-1. The count to Allie Curlin. Righty against righty here. Righty against righty. Right against lefty, I should say this time up, a bigger part. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Big swing and a miss there forced by Lehman. And the count now 2-2. 2 down here, bottom of the 7th. Can Lehman get out of the jam? Curlin stands in. As Lehman gets her sign from the Iowa dugout. And she'll step back up to the mound. Milkowski waits. Here comes the 2-2. And it's going to be just outside. And I mean, that just missed. And I mean by an eyelash. Full count coming up here for Allie Curlin. I thought that was the pitch, folks. 3-2. 2 down, 2 on here in the bottom of the 7th. Can Lehman work out of the jam? Gets her sign from Renee Gillespie. Lehman doesn't like it. Now she gets her sign again. Here's the 3-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Big strikeout by Sarah Lehman. We're going to extras in Leesburg. We're not in at 0 between Iowa and Penn State. You're listening to Iowa Softball on Learfield, IMG College. Free softball here in Leesburg, Florida. Iowa, Penn State heading to the top of the 8th. As Iowa coming up here in the top half of the frame, they've got the 8-9 and leadoff hitter coming up. As we have been scoreless through 7, Iowa trying to change that here in the top of the 8th. They lead things off with Sammy Diaz, as Diaz is 0 for 2 today. As she gets last-minute instructions from Renee Gillespie. Tell you what, pitching coach Rick Dillinger, he's got to be pretty happy with how Sarah Lehman worked her way out of that jam there in the bottom of the 7th. We've got free baseball, or I beg your pardon, free softball. Used to say free baseball, but free softball here at Leesburg here in the top of the 8th. Sammy Diaz, Bradley Klosterman, and Nia Carter will be batting here this time around for Iowa. And if you're Renee Gillespie, you're hoping you get deeper into the lineup than that. Here is the first pitch from Vanessa Oatley as Diaz tried to lay down a bunt, but that pitch is well over the head of the catcher, Kirtland. So that will be a wild pitch. Actually, I stand corrected. There is a new pitcher in for Penn State that I missed, so apologies for that. Bailey Partial has checked in. So you can close the book on Lehman. She goes the full 7. And here's the pitch from Partial. That one misses high and outside, 2-0. The count to Briley Klosterman. So Lehman, her final stat line will read 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, no runs, no earned runs. And she struck out 3. Here's the 2-0, and I beg your pardon, that is Diaz who fouls that one back down the first base line. And here comes the 2-1 from Partial. Check swing. Did she go? I don't think she did. And she did not. 3-1 the count on Sammy Diaz. They had to check down to the first base umpire. I didn't think she went, and she didn't. So that was a good call there by the umpire down at first. Here's the 3-1. And Diaz fouls that one back to the screen. 3-2. I have to say what is impressive about Oatley. She struck out 3 and did not walk anyone. So, yes, it was a solid outing from Oatley. But Partial, I expect, probably will take it the rest of the way for how long we're in, forever how long we're in extra innings. 3-2 the count to Sammy Diaz. And the payoff pitch. That one swung and fouled back to the screen. We'll do it again at 3-2. Diaz will stand back in. 3-2, full count, top of the 8th. Runner at third. Actually, beg your pardon, that's Klosterman at third. Here's the pitch. That one misses inside, ball 4. Or Diaz is at. Diaz reaches. And I apologize, I must be confused. They must be having the California League, the California style ending where they have a runner at second. So I do apologize for missing that. So runners at first and third. Nobody out. Coming up is Briley Klosterman after Diaz walks. So the go-ahead run, 60 feet away. Here's the pitch. That one misses outside. Klosterman's already got a base hit. She had one back in the 3rd. She flew out to left back in the 7th. All you have to do here is make solid contact to get a base hit if you're Klosterman. So Klosterman stands in. And righty against righty, the pitch. Swung on, ground ball, base hit into center field. The run comes in to score. Iowa leads it 1-0. And finally, somebody has taken the lid off of this scoreless game in Leesburg. Big time base hit for Klosterman. As she'll get credit for the RBI. Diaz will move to second. And that will bring up the top of the line with Nia Carter up. 2 down here, top of the 8th. Carter looking to give Iowa some cushion. Here is the first pitch to Carter. Lays down a bunt. Carter over to first. Will they get her in time? I believe they did. Did they not? I don't believe they did. They did not. Carter is in with a bunt. What a job by Carter. Now the bases are loaded with nobody out in the top of the 8th. So the Hawkeyes not only have taken the lead here in the top of the 8th, they have got a chance to blow this game wide open with Sheehy, Bogar, and Baines up. So Sheehy, she steps up. She is 0 for 3 today. She grounded out to short. Struck out in the first. She struck out looking in the third, and then she popped out to the second baseman and foul ground in the sixth. So it appears that Bailey Partial, I believe Partial will stick in, so yes, she will. She'll have to try to work out of a bases loaded, nobody out jam. Here's the first pitch to Sheehy. That pitch is going to be inside 1-0, the count now to Riley Sheehy. Tell you what a fun day to your start. What a fun start to your day full of Hawkeye sports on this Friday, March the 12th. Much different tone than March 12th and a year ago. Here's the 1-0. Ground ball right back to the pitcher. Partial couldn't handle it cleanly. Over to first. She's safe. She's safe, and a run comes in to score. Sammy Diaz scores, and Iowa has a 2-0 lead. Partial couldn't handle the ground ball. It wasn't a hard-hit ground ball, but Partial just couldn't handle it, and Sheehy gets to first. The runners move 60 feet. That'll be an E1 on Riley Sheehy. And here's the first pitch to Arely Bogart, and that one misses inside for a ball. 2-0 Iowa here in the top of the eighth. Partial back up on the mound. Bogart will stand in. Here's the 1-0. That one will go right down Broadway for a strike, and it's 1-1. 1-1 the count now to Arely Bogart. Top of the eighth, Iowa 2, Penn State 0. Hawkeyes have gotten 2 here in the top half of the extra frame. Here's a pitch to Bogart. She pops it up on the infield, and running in to make the catch is the pitcher Partial for the first out of the inning. So that's a big first out for Partial to get that first player out. Now that sets up a possible double play opportunity here for the Nittany Lions. That'll bring up Grace Baines. Baines, of course, as I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, she was the hero of yesterday's game. She could break it wide open with a hit here. That first pitch is going to be off the glove. Coming in and trying to score is Klosterman. She is out at the plate. What a diving effort at the plate by Allie Kirtland to get Klosterman, who was trying to steal home after the pass ball, but she is ruled out at home. So 2 down here in the top of the eighth. That's a great play. And now Baines will work with 2 people on and 2 down here in the top half of the eighth. So I believe that won't be a wild pitch. I believe that'll be a pass ball. But nonetheless, that's a big play there by Penn State to keep them competitive in this game. So the runners advance to second and third. 2 down. Top of the eighth. And here's the pitch. That one is going to be in there for a strike. So 0-1 the count now to Grace Baines, or 1-1 the count to Baines. Here's the pitch. That one swung on and missed. A hard cut there by Baines. And now it's 1-2. Baines could put one in the outfield. It would almost, I feel, surely score at least one. It would surely score 1, maybe even 2. Here comes the 1-2. That one swung on foul back down the right field line and out of play for Grace Baines. 1-2 the count on Baines as Partial stands back up at the mound. Here's the pitch. That one grounded down the first base line. That one is going to be foul. What a 8th inning it has been for the Iowa Hawkeyes, making it happen when they absolutely needed to. Top of the 8th, 1-2, 2 down. The pitch to Baines. That one swung on, hit to the left side, fielded over at third by Leone over to first in time to win the inning. So the Hawkeyes get 2 in the top half of the extra frame. Buckle up, folks. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Iowa 2, Penn State 0. You're listening to Iowa Softball on Learfield, IMG College. Bottom of the 8th, Iowa 2, Penn State 0. Penn State, this is their last chance, unless they can tie this game or perhaps even win it. Iowa's going to stick with their ace, Sarah Lehman, here down the stretch. He's gotten them this far. And Renee Gillespie and Rick Dillinger are thinking, let her finish what she started. So the top is here in the bottom of the 8th. That'll bring out Crowdhamel, Leone, and Maddock, the 9, 1, and 2 hitters for the Nittany Lions. And Penn State, of course, will start with a runner at second. So starting at second, being pinch running will be Kaylee Smith, 5'6" sophomore infielder from Hagerstown, Maryland. She'll be running in the place of Allie Curlin, who is in the running spot. And first pitch from Lehman misses high and outside for a ball on to Crowdhamel. 1-0 the count, bottom of the 8th. 2-0 Iowa with the lead. Here comes the 1-0. That pitch misses outside again for Lehman. Now it's 2-0. Can't let the thought of that runner at second intrude too much into how you're focusing on the batter. But Lehman going to go back to work here. 2-0 count. Here's the pitch. That one swung, fouled, popped up, in foul ground. Giving chase is Lecker. She's got it. In foul ground for the first out of the inning. So Crowdhamel flies out to Denali Lecker in foul ground for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up the top of the line with Michelle Leone. She walked her last time up in the bottom of the 6th. And she is 1 for 2 on the day. As Leone stands in against Lehman. Righty against righty. Lehman to Leone, here's the pitch. That one is going to be just a bit to the outside, high and away. 1-0 the count to Michelle Leone. Reminder, Kaylee Smith is on second base with the California League rules. So you have the runner on second to start every extra inning. Here's the pitch. And Leone takes a strike right down the middle. 1-1 the count. 2-0 Iowa with the lead, bottom of the 8th. Hawkeyes looking for the series sweep against the Lady Lions of Penn State. 1-1 the count. With one down here in the inning, here's the 1-1 from Lehman. That one swung up and missed. Strike 2 to Michelle Leone. And this is where Lehman has very much excelled with 2 strikes today against his Penn State lineup. Lehman looking in for the signal from her catcher, Milkowski, and the 1-2. That one popped up into foul ground, but that one will go out of play. We'll do it over again at 1-2. If you're just joining us, Iowa 2, Penn State 0, bottom of the 8th. Yes, we are in extras. 1-2 the count to Michelle Leone. 1 down, Sarah Lehman trying to go the distance for a complete game, including extra innings. Here's the 2-0. That one swung. Ground ball right back to Lehman. Off the foot of Lehman. Bogart, tough play over first, and they got her at first. Tough play. It went off the foot of Lehman. Bogart had to come in and chase it down, and she threw over to Lecker in time to get Leone at first. For the second out of the inning, runner does advance to third. So you'll put that down as 4-3 in your book. And with 2 down, bottom of the 8th, and a runner at third, brings up Emily Maddock, the last hope for Penn State. First pitch to Maddock, swung and foul back to the screen. 0-1 the count now on Emily Maddock. 2 down here, bottom of the 8th. Iowa looking for the sweep of Penn State here in Leesburg. Going to be a big confidence booster for the Hawkeyes going into their 3-game series with Maryland today and tomorrow. A doubleheader tomorrow. I will be on the call for the second game of that doubleheader. Jerry Koala will have the first game, and then they have just one game on Sunday. Here is the 0-2 pitch, and that is going to be a strike as Maddock tried to check her swing, but she did go around the home plate umpire ruled, and Penn State down to their last strike. 2-0. Iowa leads 2-0, 0-2, 2 down, bottom of the 8th. Emily Maddock at the plate. Lehman looking to slam the door shut on Penn State. Lehman gets the sign. Here's the windup and the pitch. That one popped up into right field, tracking it down and making the catch. She did make the catch. Is Briley Klosterman. The ball game is over. Iowa wins. What a catch by Klosterman to seal it in right center field to end the game. Your final score, Iowa 2, Penn State 0. And the Hawkeyes, it was a long, almost felt like a short, long game, I should say. But in the end, the Hawkeyes get it done when they have to. As we'll take a look at the final stats for both teams. As Penn State is shut out for the first time in the series. As we'll take a look at some final stats here for both teams. Take a look at Penn State. Michelle Leone finished the day. She went 1 for 3 on the day. 1 for 3 on the day. Emily Maddock went 0 for 4 on the day. Unfortunately for Emily, Maggie Finnegan finished 0 for 3. Lexi Black, she went 1 for 3 with a double back in the 4th. She also struck out and flew out to center. Caitlin Morris walked in the 2nd, and then she went 0 for 2 afterwards. Liana Jones went 1 for 3 on the day with a base hit in the 7th inning. Danny Fay went 1 for 3 with a base hit in the 7th inning as well. Allie Curlin finished the day 0 for 3, and then Lilia Krauthamel finished the day 0 for 2. As for Vanessa Oatley, she finishes the day. She finished the game with 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, no runs, no earned ones allowed, no walks in 3 strikeouts. A good stat line for Oatley, but unfortunately Penn State couldn't get any runs across in support of her. And then taking a look at the final stats for Iowa, Nia Carter finished the day 2 for 4. Riley Sheehy finished the day 0 for 4. Arilee Bogart finished the day 0 for 4 as well. Grace Baines finished the day 0 for 3. Denali Lecker went 1 for 3 on the day. Lindy Milkowski went 1 for 3 on the day. Kalena Burns went 0 for 3. Sammy Diaz went 0 for 2, but she ended up scoring for Iowa in the 8th inning. Briley Klosterman finished the day 2 for 3 with an RBI single that broke the game open for Iowa. And I guess you could say Riley Sheehy gets an RBI on the error, so she also clocks in an RBI. And for Sarah Lehman, she had a phenomenal game as on her day. She only allowed 4 hits on the day, no earned runs allowed, and she did end up walking 2 batters on the day, but she struck out 4 on a solid day on the mound for Sarah Lehman. So, of course, the next action for the Iowa softball team will be tomorrow, a doubleheader against Maryland, also in Leesburg. It will be first pitch for the first game will be at 8 in the morning as Jerry Koala will have the call for that game, and then I will be on the call for the second game of the doubleheader. That will follow, slated as of right now at 11:30. I beg your pardon. The first game, I beg your pardon, probably first pitch will be at 8:30. And, of course, I will finish up that series against Maryland on Sunday. So from us here at the Hawkeye Radio Network, of course, a lot of Iowa sports happening elsewhere today. As I mentioned, Rob Brooks will have the Iowa women at 3 p.m. from Indianapolis at Makers Life Fieldhouse as they take on Michigan State for a chance to advance to the Big Ten Championship game in the conference tournament. And then the Iowa men, of course, will play at 8 p.m. tonight against Wisconsin. Gary Alpin and Bobby Hansen will have the call for that game on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Pregame at 7, and the game tips off at 8 p.m. So, from us here at the Hawkeye Radio Network, thank you for tuning in. This is Quinn Douglas saying so long. Have a great rest of your Friday.